It is I, the Kenny Cup Series, and welcome back to the second episode of 2025 of recap races for the Kenny Cup Series 2025 season. So, obviously, this year's going to be interesting since there's 37 races this year, and we've already recapped the first race of the year. Well, the whole of Speed Week to be exact, in one other video. Check that out if you haven't yet. So, this recap we'll be recapping races 2 to 6. So, without further ado, let's get into race number 2 at Rockingham. So, like I said, race 2 was at Rockingham for their second ever appearance at the Rock. Obviously, Xfinity Trucks will be heading back here for the first time in quite some time later on this year, well, in a few weeks to be precise. So, yeah. As for the second race here for the Kenny Cup Series, it was an interesting race. Gracie Jackson picked up the win, picked up her second Kenny Cup Series win, her first win of the year, her first win with RCR. So, thankfully, putting RCR back on track. They definitely need it after whatever was last year. Like, Jesus me. Though she was not dominant car of the day. Abigail Penland, who finished 9th this race, was the dominant car of the day. Won the first two stages, and then beginning of stage 3, she got loose on the Chelsea Liddell and spun to the inside, and at that point she just couldn't recover and finished 9th. So, first race, honestly, I'll give Abigail this. It was the first race she actually looked like Abigail again. You know, dominant Abigail, and not just Abigail who runs like 15th every race now, apparently. So, I'll give her that. She did win last year, so no surprise she dominated once again. Then, when the race kind of came into Chelsea's hands, then Ethan Hudd kind of snuck in there late, but in the end, Gracie passed them both to take the win away from the JGR cars. So, hey, JGR is still looking pretty strong. Ethan Hudd, strong second place finish for him. He's always got these short tracks, so no surprise, second place there, him. Chelsea Liddell, also strong at the short tracks, while Mansville last year comes in third. James McKenzie, another RCR car, finished at a very strong fourth. RCR had a very good day. Well, almost. We'll get to the other one in a minute. And Perkins ranks at top 5 in the 5th position. Then we've got some Hendrick cars. Alistair and Ashley 6th and 7th. Freddie Lam as a rookie is in 8th. That's a pretty good finish for a rookie right there. Petalin 9th, like I mentioned. And Peggy Bishop, the final champ, ranks at top 10 in the 10th position. There were a few incidents this race that you can see down below. A couple of big names that have some issues. Ryan Wilkinson picked up his second DNF in a row, unfortunately. On one of the restarts, Xander Padfield, apparently, he came down, I believe, on Xander, and saw him at the racetrack, slammed hard into the outside wall, took two Penske cars with him, Alfie Lyons and Megan Bell. Both of them continued on. Megan smacked back into the outside wall, but she continued on with Alfie, who didn't really get too much damage, but it was more damage. It was bad damage that he ran 8 laps down, so top rate there. And Dom Hawkins, he actually ran like on lap 11. He got loose underneath, I believe, Aaron Swallows, spun to the inside, slammed the inside wall and back straight away. Yeah, his race did not go much better after that, so top rate there for Dom. And other drivers who struggled this race, Elwin Howells, yeah, there's the other LTO car, 28th. Don't worry, that's gonna be a trend moving forward for Elwin. That's gonna be a trend moving forward these next few races. Just want to throw out there. Lewis Braylett finishes 29th. He spun out off turn 4, basically the exact same area Abigail spun out too. So turn 4 was pretty tricky for some drivers. Courtney Ray also struggled, finishes 23rd. She struggled here last time, so in this race she kind of struggled again. That's kind of a interesting little fact there. Some other good runs. Lewis Goodrun comes on P11. That's pretty good for him. Megan Rutt, nice 14th place finish for her. So, and Olivia Zaxton, shout out picked up a top 20. So, shout out to those drivers who had some good runs. And that's pretty much it from Rockingham. So, Gracie picked up his first win of the year. Don't worry, that will not be the last to be hearing of Gracie's name in this video, because she'll be popping up quite a bit. Moving on to race number 3 now. Race number 3 took us to the Milwaukee Mile. Obviously, Milwaukee is like around the end of the summer usually. That's what happened. That's what's happened the last 2 times we've gone to Milwaukee, the last 2 years. However, due to obviously schedule changes, Milwaukee has now moved up to race number 3 on this season. That just feels so wrong, but it is right apparently. So as you can see, Ryan Wilkinson bounces back after his win. That was quick, like very quick. Yeah, he was also, though, like Gracie, he was not dominant car of the day. He kind of bounced on late and pounced on Gracie, who got stuck in front of lap traffic. Alpha Lions to be precise, who she got stuck behind, and didn't look back after that. He didn't look back after that. Ryan picked up his first win of the year as passing Gracie, who, like I say, got stuck behind Alpha Lions. So, hey, honestly, good comeback for Ryan. He definitely needed this win. Like, with back-to-back DNF start the year off, he was not having a good start to the year, so a big win here at Milwaukee. defeats the dominance of Ethan Hudds, who has dominated this race the last 2 years. Unfortunately, comes time 7 was not really that dominant this race. He's running around top 5, but he didn't really have winning speed, unfortunately. So he'll finish P7, but I mean, it could be worse. He could be finishing like a lap down or something. A few drivers had that issue this race. Courtney Wright bounces back after her mid 23rd place finish, coming home 3rd. Ashton Jackson, strong finish for him 4th. Alfie Cox ranks top 5 and 5th. Perkins 6th, even though, like I said, 4-7. Evie Williams picks up her first top 10 this year, finishing 8th. Jacob Hughes 9th, and Megan Rutt, shout out to her, picking up a top 10. So good for Megan. She's had a decent start to the year. Actually, both Trackhouse had a pretty good race as well. Lewis Braylett right behind her in 11th. So Trackhouse looking pretty strong this year. I mean, obviously Lewis Braylett being a rookie, so you know what he's doing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if it doesn't really rubble more feathers out there, like he did in the County Pro Series. Alfie Lyons, Len Swallow, just throwing it out there. Not much happened though this race. This race was kind of meh. Like not really much happened. There was only one DNF this race, like obviously like Rockingham, though there was only like one wreck the entire race with Willow Usher, making her kind of Cup Series debut. Unfortunately, blew her tires, smacked hard into the outside wall in turn 1, made her DNF, so a lot of money coming from top bottom racing's pockets. So yeah, no good way to start off your kind of Cup Series career, honestly. But hey, I believe she's racing in County Pro this year. I mean, if she would, I mean, she's a rookie in County Cup, so for part time. So I'm assuming she's gonna race County Pro full time then. Depending on what race she is. It's not confirmed where she is going for County Pro next year. Anyways, back on track. A few drivers did struggle this race. Ashley Hickman. She was running around top 10, but unfortunately got spun out between turns 3 and 4. Could not recover, finishes 22nd. Apart from Ryan, the rest of the Hendrick cars were just terrible. Xander Pafford just had no speed in them. Finishes like 23rd. Jenna Raby, didn't mention that before, but she struggled the last 2 races now. 24. Lewis Norman's now also struggling as a rookie. 3rd race now. 25th, and then a few penalties kind of cost some drivers some good runs. Alistair Prescott also running around top 10 this race. Unfortunately, got caught speeding on pit road late, finishes 27th, 2 laps down. And poor Chelsea Liddell got caught speeding twice, made her go 3 laps down in 34th. So, a race to forget for Chelsea in 34th, but hey, it is where it is. And other single runs as well, I'd like to mention. Lewis Goodrun coming home 13th, good run for him. Jake Hodgkiss 14th. Freddie Lama again finishes 16th, pretty good run for them. Jane McKenzie 17th, yeah. And Ellen rounds at top 20 and 20th. Spoiler alert, that's one of our best finishes so far this year. That is one of our finishes that is better than 20th, but still. So that's it from Milwaukee. On to the next race. Race number 4 in the year took us to Phoenix, everyone's favorite track. That is not true, actually. And as you can see, yeah, the Gracie story doesn't end. Picking up her 2nd win of the year already in the first 4 races. She's won half the races already. Jesus me. Look, I guess those rumors were true. If Gracie was playing a better car, she would do a much better job. And yeah, it turns out those rumors were pretty much true. She is better in a good car. So after all, she just woke up finally, actually got good equipment. Who knows? It's probably the talent. But again, for the 3rd time in a row, she was not the dominant car of the day. Well, I mean, she was running up front. Roughly was running past for the lead. But Jamma Waverly was the dominant car of the day. She is always good at Phoenix, and no surprise, dominated once again here at Phoenix. However, she only had short run speed. Long run speed was not her DNA today, as Gracie go around her for the win. Alistair Prescott go around her for 2nd as well, just to add to insult. So, Gemma, obviously her best run of the year so far. I mean, good run for Gemma, but obviously she would really want to win. She hasn't won since 2023 at, well, Phoenix, sarcastically. So a win really would have helped her out today, but unfortunately that did not happen. So the Chevys kind of gained up her late. So Gracie wins. Alistair Prescott, P2, defending champ. Finally picks up his first podium finish of the year. Like I said, Gemma 3rd, Evie Williams first top 5 for her and 4th, and Ashley Hickman runs top 5 and 5th. James McKenzie, once again, another good run for him. RCR has definitely woken up this year. Again, nearly off RCR. We'll get to the other one in a minute. He finishes strong 6th. Lewis Braylett, nice 7th place finish for him. Very good run for Lewis. Again, Trackhouse showing a lot of speed. Edens Jules around the top 10, Perkins 8, Liddell bounces back after a bad finish last race in 9th, and then Maisie Barrett around the top 10 in the 10th position. And again, a few other drivers did struggle this race. Courtney Wright, 23rd again. At least he's on the lead lap, but again, no speed from her today. Jake Hodgkiss, 25th. RFK did not do very well this race, finishing 25th and 26th respectively. Lewis Goodman, his good luck finally came to an end, finishing 28th. Megan Rutt also 28th. Just not a good run for some drivers at all. Elwin House finishes 30th. Again, why is it that two of the RCR cars are doing good while the other one is continuing to struggle? That's a problem. And a few cars did DNF, two of them being from the Penske camp. Alfie Cox blew a tire from turns 1 and 2, backed up, slammed to the outside wall, ended his day, top rate for Alfie. And then Megan Bell on one of the restarts. It was hard to tell. It's between her and Lewis Brailert. Either Megan came down or Lewis came up. Whatever the case was, both of them made contact. Spun Megan around, slammed into the inside wall. Not driver's side, but unfortunately it was too much damage to take out of the race. So top rate for Megan. Picks, I believe, her second record he has. Also, another 42nd place finish for her. That's two finishes outside top 40. Ouch. And then Charlie Norman got spun down the back straight, again to the side of Connor Little, spun him down the back straight, slammed to the inside wall. Wasn't too much damage. These next gen cars don't really damage themselves too badly, so he tried to continue on the race. However, 9 laps down for him, so top rate there for him. And then other number finishers, Freddie Lama, once again 11th. He's had a pretty strong start to the year, good for him. Ethan Haas, surprisingly finished 12th. I would have thought it'd be a top 10 guaranteed. Apparently not. Apparently it was a 12th. Ryan Wilson, 15th. Meh. And then Willie Boyle, shout out to her. Picked up a nice top 24. Good for Millie. So on to race number 5. Race number 5 took us to our first intermediate track of the year. And don't worry, there's not many of them this year for some reason. Don't ask me why, they just ain't. At Las Vegas, everyone's favorite track. Well, mine respectively. Freddie Lama picks up his first career Kenny Cup Series win in a pretty dramatic fashion, having to hold off a 3-time champion Cameron Perkins. How about that? Look, going for your first career win against one of probably the best in the series and beating him, that's something. And in the photo finish as well. To the finish, they came. Perkins dived into the inside of Freddie off 4, got to the inside, and lost by only like 4 1,000th of a second. So, yeah, I got a photo finish at Las Vegas for once. Interesting. Obviously, he finished second, but obviously he would really love to win this race. Las Vegas hit one of his best tracks overall, so unfortunately, to see him finish second, I wouldn't say it's heartbreaking, but hey, you know, it could be worse. You could be like the amount of drivers who DNF this race. We'll get to him in a minute. Millie Boyle, shout out to her, 3rd place. She usually does good at Las Vegas for some reason, and once again showed it. Also, what's the quickest car lane in that race too? She was giving us some pretty good laps. So, quickest car on the racetrack. Unfortunately, couldn't catch the 2 leaders in time, finishes 3rd. But honestly, a career day for Millie, a much needed top 10 for her as well, and top 5 especially. After her struggles begin the year off, I need a 3rd place finish for her. Lewis Brailert, once again, he is showing a lot of speed this year, finishing 4th. He's showing that he's a rookie to contend with this year. And then Jacob Putrans top 5 and 5th, Ashton Jackson 6th, Alfie Cox 7th. Olivia Zaxton, shout out to her, finishing P8. How about that? Junior Motorsports. Very impressive one for Olivia. Diana Padfield finally picked up his first top 10 of the year. I think his first top 10 in media in a very long time, I feel like. And how about this? Sophie Buckingham is a part-time driver, finishes top 10. How about that? Good job for Sophie there, in a Legacy Motor Club car. Yeah, that's something I wouldn't have to say. A Legacy car got a top 10. Take notes, Nemechek. Unfortunately, Alfie Lyons got a top 10, finishes 11th. But hey, still a good decent run for Alfie. Again, he could be worse. He could have been the amount of drivers DNF this race. Yeah, I should probably talk about that now. Yeah, so it was all on Evie and Chelsea on the big one. Yeah, we had a pretty big wreck this race. Between turn 3 and 4, Evie got to the inside of Chelsea. Chelsea looked to have pinched down to the inside. It was too hard to tell. Whatever the case was, both Evie slid up, tried to make contact with Chelsea. They spun around and took out a whole bunch of other drivers with them. Drivers included were Jake Hodgkiss, Abigail Pentland, Ryan Wilkinson, Lewis Norman, Peggy Bishop, Gracie Jackson, and Alistair Prescott all got collected in this one. Just a lot of big names. Half of Hendrick Motorsports was taken out on that wreck. Diana Padfield was the one who spun Alistair Prescott around, so yeah. And don't worry, the other one didn't do too well either. We'll get to her in a minute. Both RFK cars were taken out. Nearly all the Spire was taken out, minus Perkins. So just not good for them. Peggy Bishop, I do want to talk about. She was just her mounted dude Chevy was just destroyed. Like she got power driven. She was in a sandwich. Got Evie in front of her, and Abigail just sliding right to the back of her. Slipped down right in front of Lewis Newman. He just had nowhere to go and powered right into the side of her. Basically T-boned the 89 car. So unfortunately, her car was just demolished at the end, so tougher there for Peggy. Then a few other DNFs. Ashley Hickman looked to have a race-winning car. Unfortunately, blew a tire in turns 1 and 2 from the inside, slammed into the outside wall, took her out of the race. Tougher there for Chelsea. Well, not for Chelsea. Ashley, sorry. Car caught on fire as well, so she was alright. She cleaned up the car right. And then the stupid incident of today. Connor Little and trying to do his best Bubba Wallace Chase Elliott impression of intentionally wrecking cars. It was hard to tell what happened. Tom Kennett kind of looked to force him up into the outside wall, and Connor was like, you know what, screw this guy, I'm just going to wreck him, just intentionally wreck him, right hook him. And that's what he did. He right hooked Tom to the outside wall. In the process, took out Cody Batley, who was on his inside. He slammed to the inside wall, taking both cars out of the race. And as a response, Connor Little was parked 2 laps for this. I'll update you on the situation. There was a penalty given to Connor. I will probably add that in at some point. I'll probably explain it a bit later on, maybe in the community post, who knows. And then other drivers had issues. Lewis Collins spun off 4, went out the last caution, went 2 laps down, got stuck on the grass. Jalen Dougherty also went 3 laps down, also got caught up in that Tom Connor incident, finished 3 laps down, a bit of damage. And then Guy Schofield, I don't know what happened to this guy. He was the first one who went behind the wall, apparently due to some mechanical issues. Yeah, not much to say there. He just kind of finished 33rd. So, talk about that for Guy. And then gets out some other notable finishes. Elwyn Howell, that's our best finish so far this year. 15th. It won't get any better for her. Ryan Kirkshire, finished 17th this race. Riley Willis, nice top 20 for him. Good run for Riley. And then other drivers who don't have good runs. Ethan Hard, who just, I don't know what happened to Ethan. He was just terrible this race. Finished 21st. Megan Rout, 22nd. Just, ouch. Not some good runs for them. Then on to our final race, which is at Sonoma, our first road course race of the year. Yippee! And this one, yeah, I'm gonna speed through this real quick because literally nothing happened at Sonoma. Like, literally nothing happened. Ashley Hickman picks up her first win of the season. No surprise there. Also, second year in a row, she's won her first race of the year in the Vivaline car. Why is that a coincidence? I do not know. But yeah, she basically dominated this race from start to finish. She started on pole, led the most laps. I think led over half the race, and took the win away. It wasn't even a contest. Every time someone passed her, she would just repass them back on a restart. So nothing really happened this race. A few spins here and there. A few drivers did struggle, like Lewis Braley, who got spun out a few times. Brady Lama had spun out late. Dropped down to 32nd. Ethan Hard, who just had a horrendous race, finishes 37th. Just not a good run for him. Millie Boyles also struggled, finishing 29th. Yeah. The only interesting part of this race was the finish. Evie Williams, who did stay out a bit longer than Ashley, did have fresher tyres, and did kind of close the gap from 7 seconds down to 2 seconds, but at that time, it was just too late. Ashley was just gone at that point. There was no time Evie would catch up to her. There was just no call for it. So unfortunately, she finished as P2, first run up of the year. Ryan Wilson, much needed first place finish for him after just racking too many dimes so well this year. Jesus me. Megan Bell, 4th. Courtney Wright, 5th. Alfie Lyons, best career finish for him so far best career finish in the Cup, so he finished in P6. So he's a good road course racer, good for him. Dana Padfield, 7th. Peggy Bishop, 8th. Riley Pope, always showing his muscle at the road courses, comes home 9th. Abigail Pennant runs at top 10 in the 10th position. Any other notable finishers this race? Lewis Norman, best finish so far in 14th. Please tell me that's a sign for goodness or something. Please tell me. Megan Rapp, 15th. Darius Zalun, I still can't pronounce that last name, but she finishes 20th in a Rev Racing car. Always good at road course. She showed it last year with Rev Racing, picked up top 10 last year, but at this track too. So Darius good at the road course, picked up some 20th. But then other drivers who struggled, like I said, Lewis. Maisie also struggled. She got spun out on a restart, fell to 24th. Jake Hodgkins got spun out late, finished 25th. James McKenzie also struggled, finished 27th. Gemma, 28th. Just a few drivers who just didn't have a good run to this race at all. Had kind of just did nothing. So, top right for them. On to your point standings now. And here are the point standings after the first 6 races of the year. Was surprised, Cameron Perkins leads the point standings. Though surprisingly not by much. Only has a couple points over Gracie, who currently is running second in points. So Gracie obviously looking pretty strong this year. Perkins also looking pretty strong. So it's tough to see who's the better of the two. I don't know. I mean, it could be Gracie since she has 1 race compared to Perkins, who is yet to win a points paying race. Keyword points paying race. He won obviously Daytona Million to start the year off, but that was an exhibition race. So he's still the first points paying win of the year, but hey, he's currently the points leader. Courtney Wright, very surprising, 13 points. I mean, very good start to the year for Courtney. She's been very consistent. Her worst finish was 23rd. Brendan's 13 car back to prominence once again. 4th spot definitely needs it. Lewis Braylett as a rookie in 4th. Really amazing, because then that track hasn't done too well in the Candy Cup the last 2 years. Very good job for Lewis Braylett here, finishing 4th. Macy Spark runs top 5 and 5th. Peggy Bishop, the 500 champ, currently 16 points. Much better where she was last year, where she was like, around 21st in points. Thankfully, much better start to the year this year. James McKenzie also, very good start to year, 7 points. The question is, can he continue this momentum for the rest of the year, or will he continue, or will he start to slumber back in points? I'm hoping it's going the upwards, but who knows. Jacob Hughes, 8th. He's kind of done nothing. He's kind of been quiet this year, so maybe a few more good runs could maybe put him in charge of contention. Who knows? Ashley Hickman, snowman winner, finished is currently 9th, and then Alfie Cox is currently around at top 10 in points with 160 points. You can see that a few other drivers. Alex Prescott, defending champ, currently 11th in points. Had a decent start to the year. A couple of drivers had decent starts. But once we get to the second side of the page, that's when we're going to start seeing drivers who have definitely had a bad start to the year. 3 of the 4 Jacobs cars, to be exact, have had terrible starts for the year. Minus Jacob, who's currently 8th in points. Ethan Hard, Charles Liddell have not done very well the last few races, which is why they've been put now at 19th and 20th in points. Jamie Raby is just kind of where she was, like last year, 21st, around that area. Megan Bell, how is she? Last year she was contending for a championship. This year she can't even crack the top 20 points somehow. Like, come on, Megan. Come on, girl. She's had 2 top 10s, but she had a few DNFs, so that's why she's down 22nd in points. Same as Ryan Wilson, he's 23rd, the Milwaukee winner. 3 DNFs, leads the DNFs currently right now, so that's not a good stat for him. Hopefully he can stop doing his best Sam Mayer impression and actually start, winning races. I'm just saying, Ryan, Sam Mayer can win races with also red cards at the same time, but just please don't do that. Please, I beg of you. But hey, it could be worse. You could be the RFK cars, who are currently 27th and 29th in points. They have had a horrendous start to the year. Lewis Norman, as a rookie, has just struggled immensely right now, so just terrible lot for Lewis. Jake Hotchkiss has just had a miserable start to the year. The RFK struggles continue on from Cup now to Kenny Cup Series. Hopefully they'll turn their luck around at some point. They really need their luck to turn around. Elwyn, she definitely needs a luck to turn around. Currently 30th in points. Jeez. Again, for the last time, how is it that both RCR cars of Gracie and James are currently top 10 in points, while Elwyn is struggling to just stay inside the top 30 in points? Like, something needs to change in that 57 team. Crew sheet, spotter, pit crew, something needs to change right now. Like, seriously, right now. Please. And then the rest down low is just kind of the usual ones you're going to see at the back most races. Thomas Kennett now, Ryan Cook, who's kind of had a struggle to the year. And then Dom Hawkins, surprisingly, is last in points in 36. Hey, at least the Bryce, Cody Baldo ain't last in points for once. That's a positive, I guess. So that will do it for Recap Races episode 2. Next episode will be from races 7 to 11. So we got 2 short track races at Mansfield and Bristol. Another road course race at Canadian Tide, the inaugural race at Canadian Tide for the Kenny Cup Series. Two international races next coming up. We've got Gateland as well, another intermediate in the UK. And I wrap it all up at Talladega, so oh hell will probably strike there, probably. Who knows? It's Talladega. Sometimes they're good races, sometimes they're just complete wreckfest. Who knows? Anyways, that's it for the Kenny Cup. That's at the Kenny Cup Series. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we'll see you all in probably the next few weeks for our next video. So this is us at the Kenny Cup Series. Sign up now, though.